Now, right off the bat, you know that I stopped making my mortgage payment long ago, Bank of America. I'm now in court with them fighting it because they don't have the note, can't prove who does have the note, can't prove who the owner is. I called them out on this, and they left me alone for 2 years. Just no more notices, no more nothing once I called them out. Then finally they went through with the foreclosure process. I went ahead and replied, hired my friend, kind of a guy that I met. I kind of call him my friend, not really a friend, but expert at this type of defense, is actually fighting Wells Fargo himself for his own house, and thus far winning, and thinks I also have a strong case. So that's who I hired. He now works for a law firm that specializes in this in Florida, but they only do the Tampa and Orlando area. I've referred a couple people over there already. So long story short, I wasn't going to take it lying down. I wasn't going to, send in a modification. Send in a modification. I don't want a modification. I don't want a loan modification. I want to know who owns my house, who I'm making the payment to, so that in 20 whatever years from now, when it's paid off, they can legally hand me the proper paperwork that says I now own it, free and clear. And not some other person back down the chain of title that says, oh no, I'm actually the owner. They didn't sign off properly. I know you've been making all these payments to them this whole time, Bank of America, but I'm really the owner, and legally speaking, all that money that they have from you, they owe to me now. And they just filed bankruptcy, so you're the one in the house. That's the asset. You owe me the money. Yeah, but I already paid them. I already paid Bank of America's subsidiary, BAC Loans LLC, but they're bankrupt, so all that money I gave them, they get to keep, which was funneled into the main corporation, Bank of America, and now you want my money all over again. That's how that could possibly go. I knew this, which is why I decided to go ahead and fight it and stop making payments until I figure out who really owns the house, who owns the note. I don't want a copy. I don't want a certified copy. I don't want robo-stamping. I want to know who owns the real title to my house, the note. So when I read you what I'm about to read you, it ought to let you know that old JSnip4 made the right decision. And when I first mentioned that I've done this type of thing back on YouTube a while ago, I did get some flack from some people. Joe, that's not right. It's, this people doing what you're doing is part of the problem, man. I don't agree with this, blah, blah, blah. And then as time went on and I did some more foreclosure videos and some more stuff that was happening, I had a couple of those people say, man, I know I kind of got on your case originally about this, but man, basically sorry about that. You may be right. There ain't no maybe. JSIP4 is right. So let me go ahead. Speaking of my bank, for the mortgage, Bank of America, I got something I want to read you. Pieces of it anyways. Bank of America lied to homeowners and actually rewarded their employees for putting people, go ahead and processing it into foreclosure rather than helping people. And the government created the HAMP program to help people stay in their homes and worked something out with the banks in doing so. But the banks decided, we don't have time for that nonsense. We'd rather go into foreclosure, and we will actually give our employees bonuses for allowing it to go into foreclosure. Why would a bank want to do that? Keep in mind, banks do pay insurance fees to multiple companies probably, in that in the event of a foreclosure, they are rewarded a monetary fee back for that foreclosure as part of like an insurance. So it's kind of in their best interest to not help you, basically. So, brand new article here. This just happened. Bank of America employees regularly lied to homeowners seeking loan modifications, denied their applications for made-up reasons, and were rewarded for sending homeowners into foreclosure, according to sworn statements by former bank employees. Not looking too much like a scumbag anymore, am I? Old JSnip4 by not making his mortgage payment to Bank of America, who knew these things, who knew not only is this part of the problem, but they don't have the paperwork. Do you understand what you're going to hear me say something about the 49 state attorneys general gave Bank of America an ultimatum to hit him hard with the fines, settlement fees, all kinds of fines, And you can never do these robo-signing and these fake bogus signatures and all this crap that you've compiled to put these people into foreclosures. You will now pay fees to these people that you put in foreclosures, which amounted to nothing, by the way, because they're already out of the house anyways. And don't do it again. And almost immediately, I mean, it was immediately, they did the same things that the attorneys general said don't do. No more robo-signing, no more fake documents, no more rubber stamping stuff. We need legitimate documentation here that is required by law to do a foreclosure. Oh, we'll do it. We paid the fine. Sorry about that. We'll do it. Immediately after that, right away, robo-signing back again, fake documentation once again, as if nothing happened. Why in the hell could that possibly happen? Why wouldn't a bank comply with the settlement, right? We're not going to take you to criminal charges will be dropped. Let's just fix the problem, Bank of America, and all you other big banks, because this was a multi-bank thing that happened. Don't do it again. They did it again. Why in the hell would they defy such an order? The reason I said before when I first did a video on that specific thing happening, and that's this. They don't have the proper documentation, therefore they can never come up with the proper documentation to process these into foreclosures and comply with the attorneys general of all 40 or 4. I thought it was 50 states. I guess it was 49 states. That's why. Which means you, on a personal level or private level, whatever you want to call it, can still fight the foreclosure or go after Bank of America legally because you were not part of what the attorneys general told and agreed upon with the banks. They just wanted to, for whatever reasons, you know, publicity. What the hell is this thing flying around here? Hopefully that wasn't too loud for you. Out in the country, you will find that it's quite easy for bugs and flies and weird things to get in your house. Frequently. Having said all this, they don't have the documentation. They never did, and they never will. At least 8 or 9 out of 10 homes with mortgages have the same problem that I'm talking about. So they can never comply no matter how bad they want to, which means if you're getting foreclosed upon, take it to court and fight it. Fight it, fight it, fight it, like I've always said, and which is exactly what I'm doing. So these employees, it says when the Obama administration launched HAMP, that program, in 2009, Bank of America was by far the largest mortgage servicer in the entire program. It had twice as many loans eligible as the next largest bank. The former employees say that in response to this crush of struggling homeowners, the bank often misled them and denied applications for bogus reasons. Sometimes homeowners were simply denied en masse in a process called a blitz, said William Wilson, Jr., who worked as an underwriter and manager from 2010 until 2012. As part of the modification applications, homeowners were required to send in documents with their financial information. About twice a month, Wilson said, the bank ordered that all files with documentation 60 or more days old simply just be denied. During a blitz, a single team would decline between 600 and 1,500 modification files at a time, he said in a sworn declaration. To justify the denials, employees produced fictitious reasons, for instance, saying that homeowners had not sent in the required documents, when in actuality they had. Such mass denials may have occurred at other mortgage servicers as well. Chris Wyatt, a former employee of Goldman Sachs subsidiary Litton Loan Servicing, told ProPublica in 2012 that the company periodically conducted denial sweeps, which is the same thing as the blitz Bank of America did, to reduce the backlog of homeowners asking for help. A spokesman for Goldman Sachs said at the time that the company disagreed with Wyatt's account of what happened, but offered no other specifics. Of course not. 5 of the former Bank of America employees stated that they were encouraged to mislead customers. We were told to lie to customers and claim that Bank of America had not received documents it requested, said one employee who worked at the bank from 2007 until early 2012 as a senior collector. We were told that admitting that the bank received documents, quote, would open a can of worms. from management telling him this. Since the bank was required to underwrite applications within 30 days of receiving documents and didn't have adequate staff to do so. Wilson, this other person, said each underwriter commonly had about 400 outstanding applications awaiting review. Anxious homeowners calling in for an update on their application were frequently told that their applications were under review, when in fact nothing had been done in months, not a single thing, or the application had already been denied. They just didn't want to tell them. 4 former employees said. Employees were rewarded for denying applications and referring customers to foreclosure, according to the statements. Gordon said collectors, quote, who placed 10 or more accounts into foreclosure in any given month received a $500 bonus. That is so sickening that a bank would give their employees a bonus to throw people out of their homes in foreclosure due to the crap that the banks themselves caused. They caused this whole meltdown. This is despicable. This is worse than despicable. And again, me not making my mortgage payment for 2.5, I guess I'm almost going on 3 years, 2.5 years now. Fighting it in court for another 2+ years that'll come out of this and still not making a mortgage payment. Ooh, you don't know how good it feels. You don't know how good it feels. Oh, it feels great. I'm getting chills. You probably can't see them. Oh, it feels great. And that's not normally a good thing that I should be saying right now. But when I'm reading this and I'm catching them in their lies and I'm catching these banks in their fraud and their fake documents and their fake robo-signing and their fake employee signatures that don't even exist, this makes me feel fantastic that I'm not making a mortgage payment. I got to tell you. Where was I? Other rewards included gift cards to retail stores and restaurants, said Gordon and Teresa, who worked as a collector from 2009 till 2010. This is certainly not the first time the bank has faced such allegations. In 2010, Arizona and Nevada sued Bank of America for mishandling modification applications. Last year, Bank of America settled out of court, a lawsuit brought by a former employee of the bank, actually of a bank contractor who worked for them, who accused the bank of mishandling HAMP applications. The bank has also settled 2 major actions by the federal government related to its foreclosure practices. In early 2012, 49 state attorneys general, which I talked about, and the federal government crafted a settlement that, among other things, provided cash payments to Bank of America borrowers who had lost their homes to foreclosures. In other words, they've already been kicked out. Didn't fight it because they thought it was all legit. They must not have been subscribing to JSNP 4, or else they would have stayed in their house. Let's see, they settled brought on by former employee. The bank also settled, again, 49 state attorney generals, crafted a settlement that provided cash payments to Bank of America borrowers who had lost their home to foreclosure. Authorities recently began mailing out those checks of about $1,480 for each customer or each homeowner. So basically, here's one month's payment back from all the trouble and all the lies that they did, the cheating, stealing, rubber stamping, fake documentation. Here's $480. Have a nice day. Nice. Earlier this year, aside from that, federal bank regulators arrived at another settlement that also resulted in payments to affected borrowers. The most received $500 or less. So here's a little bonus payment for you guys. Me, seeing what my mortgage payment was every month for the last 2 years, not paying it, boy, should I take the $1,480 plus a possibility of another $500, so let's call that $2,000, or should I come up with $4,000 to pay my lawyer to keep me in the house for another 2 additional years, and not just keep me in the house, literally fight this for me and try to win. That's what they specialize in. Not just keeping you in the house for 2 years, then you get lost. Actually trying to win. And can you imagine, and if 2 years from now comes by, and you see my dirty, rotten, ugly face on YouTube again, saying, guys, guess what? Not going to believe this. I won the foreclosure lawsuit. they've withdrawn it because they can't win, and rather than admit to defeat in the trial, they've pulled back the lawsuit, put it on hold. That's what they did with this lawyer guy I'm telling you about, the guy that works for him. They just stopped it. We're going to stop this process right now because we're going to get we need some more documentation, Your Honor. All right, go ahead. And months and months and months and months and months have gone by, and the guy hasn't heard anything. So what he explained to me was that once a certain amount of time goes by, I believe he called it filing for quiet title, or a quiet title action, something like that. I did a little research on that. And generally, it goes something like this. You put a notice, legally notice, you have to do this a certain way legally, and that's like in major newspapers of the area, that kind of thing. You know, hear he in the newspaper. The property at such and such address, blah, blah, blah. I, such and such your name, hereby announce that this is my property. It is owed free and clear. There are no debt, and there's no lien holders, etc. Any of you out there claiming that, please reply, you know, such and such. They won't be able to reply because of the lawsuit that was pending and the fact that they withdrew the case and a certain number of time had to go by for some reason. And maybe it's, I was thinking it was, what do they call that? When like 5 years goes by and a creditor tries to get you statute of limitations. I don't know if it has something to do with that or not, and I haven't talked to him in a while, but long story short, he knows exactly what to do, and this is the guy working on my case. So, the lawsuit with the explosive new declarations from former employees is a consolidation of 29 separate lawsuits against the bank from across the country and is seeking class action certification. It covers homeowners who received a trial modification, made all of the required payments, but who did not get a timely answer from the bank on whether they'd receive a permanent modification. Under the HAMP thing, under HAMP, the trial period was supposed to last 3 months, but frequently dragged on for much, much longer, particularly during the height of the foreclosure crisis in 2009 and 2010. Let's see. Bank of America was far slower to modify loans than other servicers, as other analyses we've cited have shown. A study last year found that about 800,000 homeowners would have qualified for the HAMP program if Bank of America and the other larger servicers had done an adequate job of handling homeowner applications. Instead, bonus time, everybody. Kick these stupid scumbag peasant lowlife, they're not even human, subhuman people out of their house. Here's a $500 bonus for every 10. If you can do 10 a month, you get a bonus. Jason 4 gives bonuses on YouTube. I'll talk about one thing, throw in something else. That's a bonus. That's worth more than $500 for foreclosing on someone. Trust me. And these employees, former employees. Now, I bet they were standing first in line. Oh, I got 10 this month. Oh, I'm going to see if I can get another 10 next month. Oh, I'm going to see. And then all of a sudden, the foreclosure starts slowing down. All that's out of the way. Hey, you five clowns. Used to be my top sales guy. Used to be my top foreclosure bonus guys. Here's your pink slips. We don't no longer need you. Have a nice day. Oh, who the hell they think they are? And then all of a sudden, now that the money stopped and their job's gone, and now they're in the unemployment line, well, we'll file a lawsuit against Bank of America for wrongdoing. So on one hand, it's like, hey, who the hell were you guys when the people needed you? The bank even told you to screw them, and you gladly did it and got your bonus. Now all of a sudden you don't have a job. Now it's time to file a lawsuit. You see, this kind of reminds me of like mafia type stuff. You got the big boss and takes care of the lower guys, right? His lieutenants, let's call them. And then they got the guys, you're going to be my hitman. You're going to be my drug guy. You're going to go beat people up if they don't pay us. Got this going. And they're doing it. These guys are living a fantastic lifestyle. I mean, all of them. Of course, the lieutenants are living even better. And the mob boss, oh, he's like the president. He's living fantastically. But the lower guys who are living great, man, I want to be a lieutenant. Hell, I'd like to be the boss. And as time goes on, they want more. They think it's nice. And maybe someone got ratted out. The boss doesn't need you anymore. Get lost. Hey, I was whacking people for you. I thought we were pals, man. Now you don't want me on my services anymore? Screw you. Then he goes and blows the whistle. Then he becomes an informant, right? You see that? So when you start doing evil and you're making other people do evil just to keep a job at your place, it always, the old saying, what goes around comes around. And when it comes around much harder. This is that coming around back to Bank of America much harder. It's sad that these employees are now blowing the whistle. Where were they at during the height of the crisis, right? But nonetheless, they've done it, and I applaud them for doing it now. This is your host, Jason at 4. Take care.